Good morning, good day, good evening. In today's video, we have breaking news. And I mean real breaking news. The president has officially signed the Epstein Transparency Act. That means the DOJ is now compelled, not asked, not encouraged, but forced to hand over every Epstein file in their possession to the House Oversight Committee. Let's get into the clip now.
We do have some major breaking news as we come on the air tonight because President Trump has now signed the Epstein files bill into law, the final step to force the Justice Department to turn over everything it has on Epstein within the next 30 days. Part of the president's lengthy statement, I'll read it here, where he said, quote, Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, with an exclamation point, was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democrat figures. The president goes on to write, perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their associations with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed because I have just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. Trump says, as everyone knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune to pass this bill in the House and the Senate. That, of course, came after he fought the bill, but he concluded with, this latest hoax will backfire on the Democrats just as all of the rest have. Thank you all for your attention to this matter.
Let me tell you something that a lot of people aren't going to like. For me personally, this doesn't change much. Yeah, it's entertaining. Yeah, the internet is about to explode with theories. Yeah, it's going to dominate every podcast, every commentary show, every YouTube channel, including mine. But in terms of solving real problems in this country, I think it's a distraction, and I'm going to explain exactly why. I want y'all to think about this carefully. The House and Senate, who can't agree on anything, suddenly came together unanimously, except for one person, to release these files. One person voted no, and that person knew damn well the whole internet would cook them alive if they didn't go along with it. So they all rushed in overnight like, yes, Epstein transparency, release the files. But here's what blows my mind. Y'all couldn't agree on keeping the government open. Y'all couldn't agree on funding. Y'all couldn't agree on infrastructure. Y'all couldn't agree on border security. Y'all couldn't agree on anything important enough to stop a 40-plus day shutdown. But suddenly, this is the moment when unity becomes possible. Releasing files about events that began back in the 1990s, events that spanned the Clinton years, the Bush years, the Obama years, the Trump years, and the Biden years. 30 years, 3 decades, almost 30 years of opportunity to address this. 3 decades where Congress could have demanded transparency, and nobody asked, not once. Nobody pressured Obama, nobody pressured Biden, nobody pressured Congress, nobody pressured the DOJ, nobody pressured anyone, not until now. And here's the part nobody wants to talk about. If Democrats really wanted these files released, if they really thought Trump was implicated, if they really believed this would take him down, why didn't they do it during Biden's administration? They had every incentive, every political reason, every tool, every angle. For 4 straight years, they threw everything at Trump. They tried to bankrupt him. They went after his business. They indicted him in multiple states. They dragged him through Fulton County. They unleashed Letitia James. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They tried to kick him off ballots. They painted him as racist, fascist, authoritarian. They tried to finish him politically, financially, socially. If anybody had a reason to release the Epstein files earlier, it was the Biden administration. So tell me, why didn't they? Nobody can answer that question. Nobody. And don't hit me with the files were sealed by a judge excuse. Because we all know damn well, when politicians want something done, they find a way. They bend rules. They reinterpret rules. They pull levers behind the scenes. That excuse is weak. And nobody was even trying to pressure Biden, Republicans, Democrats, or anybody else to release the files. Nobody cared. Not until now. So, for me, this whole thing feels like political theater. If the government can come together this fast, literally overnight, to release Epstein files, then why can't they come together on issues that actually affect Americans today? Where's this unity when it comes to keeping the government open, passing a real budget, funding American infrastructure, regulating AI before it wipes out jobs, addressing the U.S.-Saudi $1 trillion investment deal that nobody is talking about, stopping foreign companies from buying American media and land, managing immigration responsibly, addressing the 50-plus new Muslim officials elected across the country, keeping our cities safe, bringing down inflation, fixing health care. But no, suddenly Congress finds bipartisan energy over Epstein, something that happened decades ago. Y'all couldn't fix the shutdown, but you can fix Epstein records? Come on now, let's continue on with this clip.
Of course, this is the bill that the president spent months trying to kill. He is now taking credit for its passage on Capitol Hill after it became clear that it was going to pass at least the House. While it's a moment that so many of Jeffrey Epstein's survivors that you've heard from here on this show have waited so long for, it is notable the president did not mention the women who fought for this bill's passage in his post tonight. The fact also that the president didn't take the opportunity to sign it today before cameras is notable, given how many bill signings and executive orders he has regularly turned into lengthy Oval Office events and press conferences. We did hear from the Attorney General on this matter earlier. Pam Bondi was asked multiple times how her department plans to handle this process of turning over these materials to Congress, given the massive amount of data on Epstein that the Justice Department has.
Does the new investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency.
What are you doing here over the next 30 days as we understand it?
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
When you say follow the law, Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law. The law passed both chambers last evening. It has not yet been signed, but we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
Now, Attorney General Bondi declined to give any explanation on how the plan to follow the law is any different from what the department has been doing already, especially given it was just 2 months ago when the FBI director told Congress this about those same Epstein files in their possession.
We have released where President Trump's name's in the Epstein files and everybody else, and all credible information that we are legally allowed to release has been released. Pursuant to Mr. Acosta's collection of information based on the search warrants. That's all we have in our possession.
And I'm asking you, that stuff.
That's all we got. We are releasing as much as legally allowed. We are providing everything we can legally provide.
The Attorney General did try to explain why, just months after her department declared that there was no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. She announced those very investigations that President Trump demanded last week.
What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads.
That would seem to differ from what the president has been saying over the course of the last few months, as his team has been trying to make the entire Epstein saga go away.
Look, this part is going to be unpopular, but it's the truth. Nobody is going to jail over this. Nobody is getting indicted. Nobody is being arrested. Nobody is being held accountable. This is all entertainment. And if there's no consequence, if nobody pays the price, if nobody faces justice, then why am I supposed to pretend this is the most urgent issue in America? I got bigger things to focus on. And honestly, so should our government. Now, yes, they're hyping this up. They're promising bombshells, 53,000 pages being dumped on the committee, some from the DOJ, some from Epstein's estate. One clip people are circulating shows Representative Stacey Plaskett allegedly taking cues from Epstein during a hearing, which is wild if true. But here's the real question. Will Congress actually name the perpetrators? Will they subpoena them? Will they drag them to Capitol Hill? Will they testify? Will justice actually happen? Because releasing paperwork without consequences is not justice. If no one is prosecuted, if no one is held accountable, if all we get is a list and no action, people are still going to be unsatisfied. People keep asking why Trump keeps calling this a hoax. And honestly, I get why he says that. Optically, it looks bad, it looks messy, it looks like a political trap. If it were me, I would have invited the victims to the White House. I would have held a major press conference. I would have spoken directly to them, directly to the nation. I would have gotten ahead of the story, taken control of the narrative, because right now, Democrats found one of the few issues they can unite around, and they're using it to weaponize the moment. And the crazy part, it's working. Here's my honest conclusion. And it won't be popular. This is political theater, a distraction, a shiny object, a look over here while we ignore everything else moment. Yes, the files should be released. Yes, transparency matters. Yes, victims deserve justice. But ask yourself, if this could have been done 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, why is it suddenly the number one priority today? I'll tell you why. Because America is easily distracted. We chase the drama. We chase the sensational story. We chase the conspiracy. And meanwhile, the real issues, the issues affecting your life, get ignored. So yeah, the files will come out. Celebrities are nervous. Politicians are nervous. People are panicking. And sure, I'll talk about it. I'll cover it on my shows. I'll engage with it like everyone else. But if I'm being completely transparent, this is entertainment, not progress, not reform, not justice, not accountability. Entertainment. And America is addicted to it. Thanks once again, y'all, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.